Pisces, hello, hello, hello. It has been such a minute since we have done a monthly for you. Welcome, everyone. I am Kendrick. This is Providence Tarot. Sorry, the AC is on, but I put on some ambient open crown chakra Tibetan bowl healing music for you today. Um, it's Virgo season, especially if you're a Virgo rising, or sorry, especially if you're a Pisces rising, Pisces first house, then we are in the sign of your relationships, right? And open enemies into some point end of life and what motivates you, right? The seventh house is also like uh not where the ascendant is, but it's also kind of like where the descendant is, right? That's the seventh house. Anyway, I will go ahead and get started. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the video. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot there. And my personal account is NYC Kendrick. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, then email providencetarot.kendrick@gmail.com. Okay, Pisces, so burning mugwort, cinnamon, but first of all, lotus is what started it all. I got a little bit of sage going in there. I'm drinking some ginger tea. I took a really good gulp of it. It was a little hot. I underestimated it, and I felt that heat burn right in my solar plexus. Okay, but it's ginger lemon, so maybe that's what I was supposed to feel, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get shuffling here. Oh, the Tower and the High Priest. I'm using the Druid Craft Tarot today, and then I'm also going to be using the Druid Animal Oracle deck. Oh. Alright, so let's just see what's going on with these cards, Pisces. Ooh, a little messy there. My sun is in my 12th house, so maybe I might find some messages here. So if you have sun, moon, or rising in Pisces, or if you have sun in your 12th house, right? Or maybe you have Jupiter in your 12th, yeah? One more time. Yes. Okay. All right, Pisces, let's get to it. I'm going to cut the deck. Prince of Swords energy. I was like, what am I doing? Okay, that was right. So let me just go ahead and keep going. I'm going to lay them out. I'm going to do a classic Providence Tarot Ascendant spread, just because with the monthlies, that's kind of like how I do those. With the proofreads, I usually do that 3 stack. I flip over the top of each stack, and then I flip over the bottom of each stack. That's usually how we do that. So let me see. Flip over the bottom of this, the Death card, which is talking about transformation. It's also talking about endings, right? Because I did mention the 7th house, right? And number 7 in the Tarot Major Arcana is Cancer, which is the Chariot. And the Death card is 13, but it's a 4, which is related to that 4th house, but it's also related to the Emperor. So it's kind of like having to kneel down to something that is more powerful than you. And it's very spiritual here too, because it's something that is out of your control, something that is bigger than you, right? So we're having to give in to something that's bigger than us, and it may not be what we want, and it may not even be what we intended, but it's what we have to do. You know, so it's giving in, it's succumbing to something. It's a realization, but it's a realization that comes from allowing and opening up, because it's receiving something as well, you know? So maybe there's the fear of letting go, you know? And you have to receive this letting go, right? Or you have to let go so you can receive the new energy that's coming in. But you're afraid of what it's going to be on the other side, or you're afraid of something being finite, right? That's why it's kind of like, is it over, or something like that, or is, you know, you're worried possibly, you know, because it's 13, you know, about something being complete or something that you can't control. Or maybe you're saying something, maybe you're admitting to something being out of your hands. You have to admit when something is, you know, out of your hands and you can't control it. Right? In whatever way, shape, or form that is. Sometimes we won't admit to what's out of our hands. So we try to control what's out of our hands. And out of your hands mean that you might not have control of something. It may not be the same way. There's the danger of it not being the same way. There's the threat of something not being the same way. Right? Or what feels threatened right now. That type of thing. You know, this is also sexual energy. Right? With the death card being here. So what's the intense worry or emotional regret, pain? What is that about? You have to let go of something that is old, right? Related to the Emperor again. Something has run its course, and that's what this is talking about. The death card, obviously, you know. Okay, so let's flip over the center card. We have the Three of Wands here, which is talking about, you know, looking for something more, right? Maybe you got bored with something, or maybe time has been an issue. Like you've been waiting for something to like come around, right? Or this could be like you waiting for yourself to come around, because it is Three of Wands, which is Sun and Aries, okay? So you might be looking to receive something for yourself. You're focusing on your own goals here with the Three of Wands. Yes. Thinking about what it is that like you want to do. Okay. Also being very connected to the environment that you're in right now, you know, because it is a 3. So you're in the environment that you're in right now. You're working, you're doing things, but then you're also waiting for something to change. That Three of Wands. But it's almost kind of like you're getting very involved in this change, and that's why it is. It's almost like impatience too, right? You might be impatient with something. You know, every message won't resonate with everyone, so it's kind of like take what does and then leave the rest, you know? This 3 talks about growth as well, you know, growing over time or waiting for something to change. It's in terms of communication, right? Waiting, wanting more of something, maybe more communication, or maybe it's the growth of communication, right? Or maybe it comes from like what you do, what you say and what you do. You know, the Three of Wands is asking that, right? And also not getting bored, trying to keep yourself busy, not getting bored, right? But this is usually waiting for something to happen that you're anticipating, you know, and it might have to do with the environment that you're in, home, or it could have to do with like waiting to hear back from someone about something, you know. Yeah, something creative too, being more creative, doing things more creative, getting more creatively involved in something, right? To see and waiting for it to grow, waiting to see how something develops, right? What direction is this going in? Okay? Because that's the thing. I feel like something is developing and you want to see what direction it's going in. How much further is this going to take? How much longer is this going to take? There it is. The Tower too. So it's talking about relationships, and it's also talking about something that is now allowing you to move forward. The universe says you need to move forward with something. The universe is also saying that you need to accept that this change is happening here with the Tower and the Death card being at the bottom, but the Tower crossing the Three of Wands. So it's almost kind of like the wait is over, you know? Or what you might have been anxiously anticipating may not be coming to you the way that you thought, or something might be over. It could be a relationship. Yes. And being that it's a 7, it is related to the Chariot, so it's saying like not coming from that place of feeling stuck. You know what I mean? You may not be feeling stuck with something anymore. With this Tower card being here and the Three of Wands being there and the Death card. You know? So you may have been waiting for something to sort of like come around or come to pass, or to sort of like change in some kind of way. Maybe it wasn't changing, you know? And now maybe it is changing. Maybe the universe is causing something to happen here. Let's see. The Four of Cups is talking about emotional complacency, you know? About something, you know, not wanting, feeling some type of way, but not knowing what to do to change the way that you're feeling. You know what I mean? Hello? And the 4s, the 7s, and the 3s do have something to do with emotion. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you need to actively create some new, I don't know, points of interest in your life. What interests you now? New interests or new ways to go about showing, like, you know, work. I mean, I feel like maybe there's like not enough work to even do, probably. With the Death card, I'm sorry, with the Three of Wands being here. I mean, the Tower and the Four of Cups. Some of you could be dealing with your mothers as well, just because the Death card is a 4 and the Four of Cups is also a 4. The Tower is a 7 related to the Chariot. The Three of Wands is related to the Empress. Okay, so you could be dealing with a Leo. You could be dealing with Cancer. You could be dealing with Scorpio. Okay. So there is something that is happening that is, there's some tension, you know, and there's some resentment and there's some regret. Okay. Right. In terms of this relationship, and also in terms of like the emotional foundation of that it stood on. And this could be with your mother. This could be with someone that you have a relationship with. Yeah. It could also even be with your father, being that the Death card is here and the Four of Cups. Right? And the Tower is Mars energy. So this is some kind of like shakeup that comes in. Right? In some kind of way. And it causes you, or you need to react or respond to it, maybe. With the Three of Wands being here. And then the Tower covering it in some kind of way. Yeah, for some of you. Let's look at the Sun. Okay, the Sun is focusing on the Princess of Cups, which is talking about the emotional impressions that have been left from childhood for some of you. That type of thing, or from an experience in the past, right? Because the Princess of Cups is feeling from the past, because the emotions have to do with time, and they have to also do with things that have already happened, okay? Because we don't necessarily have an emotional attachment to anything that hasn't happened yet, right? Sometimes. Some of you might even want to have a child, and that is the problem here. The Three of Wands could also be like the father, who's like standing kind of standoffish, right? Because it does talk about a little bit of a boundary, physical boundary perhaps, with the fire being here. So there's a physical boundary between you and someone else. So it makes you feel like the growth is not necessarily happening. And then, like, yeah, the Tower talks about boundaries as well. So there was something that happened that made this person come up with this need to protect themselves emotionally and physically, that type of thing, okay, for some of you. The Princess of Cups is talking about, you know, children. You know, some of you could just be focusing on the emotional well-being of your children. Or some of you could be focusing on, like, you know, the inner child is always going to live inside of you. So it's always going to need some emotional attending to, you know, or some tending to emotionally. That inner child is. I can tell you, for sure. You know, it comes from triggers, you know, or from things that from the past that you have some trauma or some post-trauma with. Some emotional attachment, some things that you've held on to, you know what I mean? That have kind of eroded at your ability to be creative, or your ability to see the way that you can be creative, right? Because creativity is boundless, right? You could be redecorating your house. Okay, that's creativity. Cleaning your house. That's practical, but it's also creativity, okay? Right? Making things look better, improving the environment. It talks about improving your environment, you know, for sure. Some of you could be tired of feeling stressed out about something, you know, for definitely. Thinking about it, stressing about it emotionally, you know, even though something has already happened. You know what I mean? The Four of Cups here, the Death card here, the Tower. It's like it's already happened, I feel. And the Three of Wands is also indicating that with the Princess of Wands because it's cups. And the Death card, the Four of Cups, and the Princess of Cups is also saying that to me. Right? You definitely need to let something pass. It does talk about healing over time here. And there being growth over time here. Okay? And you're learning how to heal. Definitely. Learning how to heal. This is you. This is in your sun position. And you're in the Princess of Cups. So it's kind of like an ace. It's kind of like an opportunity to get a lesson, right? But this is a lesson on emotional maturity and emotional understanding, right? Mm-hmm. Because your feelings are going to change, just like the seasons do. You know? They'll become a little warmer over time, or they'll become a little cooler over time. It just depends on what's happening, what the situation is, right? I would encourage you to do some root work and some heart chakra work. So you could just listen to some things that are heart chakra, like what we're listening to right now is crown chakra, opening up that crown chakra. So do more of that. You know, red is here as well. So there's some passion here. There's also some pain. Passion and pain sort of go together, right? Yeah, some of you are like, you know, you're doing better because the Four of Cups is in the past and the Princess of Cups is right here in the sun position, you know? So it's telling me that you're doing a little bit better emotionally. Yeah. You're not focusing on the emotions. You're not, well, maybe, I don't know. Just make sure that you're not doing too many toxic things, right? Let's look at the moon. Rebirth. Great. So you got death, rebirth, you got the Tower card, the Four of Cups. In the moon position, you got rebirth, which is wonderful because we're about to have a new moon in your 7th house, like I said before. A Virgo. And I believe it's going to be like on the 25th. Is that right? Or the 17th, actually. 17th. And it's at 25 degrees of Virgo, which is actually a 7. And the Tower is 16. That's a 7. Anyway, the Rebirth card is talking about transformations. Also letting something go, you know? And the power that comes from letting go. Allowing yourself to go through the that process of being unsure, right? Of feeling vulnerable as well. You have to go through the vulnerability process because you're going to be vulnerable to your own emotions, right? That's okay. You know? But we definitely are getting you back in your power, okay? Because the Death card is here and it's number 13. And this is at the bottom of the deck. And that is talking about transformation. And it's just going here talking about when that moon comes around, you're going to feel it. And that's good, right? And it's talking about cleansing, right? Atonement too, forgiveness. A sense of like putting this idea to rest that something could have been a way or different than they were. Things could have been different than they were, and that would have changed things, you know? I wouldn't have to go through this, like, this process of rebirth. And also putting something behind me, right? Putting something behind me. because it's time, you know. Cleanse yourself of some energy so that you can start over emotionally. Coming out the other side, right? And coming out changed, feeling changed from something. A relationship changed you. A place that you work, the experience that you had there that was maybe difficult or challenging for you, changed you. Something that someone said or the way that they communicated with you changed you. Holding on to things from the past when we were children. You know? Because the rebirth is a 2. Gemini, that symbol, you know, is a 2 as well. But then we're talking about attachments as well. We have to let go of those old emotional attachments that we have to things, you know. Because some of those things are so far away from us now, but they still have a very strong hold. See what I mean? Let's look at your anxieties. Anxieties, Queen of Swords. This is Libra. This is also related to the 3 of Swords, which is Saturn in Libra, which is in its exaltation, which gives a strong sense of responsibility, thoughtfulness, and respect towards the lessons that relationships teach you. Like I said, you learned a lot from these relationships, this job, right? Siblings, whatever. That's what it is, brother, sister, whatever, you know, whatever. But the Queen of Swords is talking about having anxieties of dealing with the truth of something, right? Or anxieties around a Libra. Could be Virgo. Could be any other air sign. Gemini, Aquarius. Also, I feel like this is truth. Okay? And it's anxieties facing someone. And telling the truth, maybe. You know, and the truth doesn't have to be something that you did wrong. It could just be like the opinion, right? But this is kind of like a very sharp-tongued thing, right? So it's afraid of what someone might say, or afraid of what you might say. You know? Because if you're afraid of what you might say, or what, you know, then... But if you're afraid of what they might say, I don't know. There's something going on with communication here. You know. Someone is also detached communicatively, right? Because this is in the anxieties, and look how high up this person is. You know. You also could be worried about what someone thinks about you, because the Queen of Swords is Libra, and it is related to Saturn in Libra. And Saturn in Libra is, like, Saturn could be, like, very judgmental, right? In relationships, you know? And I feel like it's almost like the anxieties of knowing what someone is going to say or knowing what someone is thinking. And that could be in whatever your scenario is, right? It doesn't have to be like they did something wrong, you did something. It could just be whatever it is. For you, because we're talking about Pisces here. So this shit is complex. Because y'all are. Let's see what's going on in the Mars position. Okay, Mars position, you got Mars in Capricorn, so this is good. Work is going well, you know. You're putting time, energy, and effort in where it counts. Getting it done. Making sure you're getting those deadlines. Okay? And just trying to be very productive you know, in the environment that you're working in. Because you might be dealing with some limitations, right, and some restrictions within this environment, but you're working well with it. You're wearing well, hanging on. Ooh, 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 ooh. Anyway, Mars and Capricorn. So, you know, this is Mars and Capricorn in the Mars position, so it's an exalted card. But then the Tower, which is Mars, is here as the immediate influence or the challenge. So you could be proving yourself to others, right? Or you might feel like you have something to prove in whatever way that is for you in your story, in your situation scenario, darling. See what I mean? Work it for me, work it for me. You know, and this is doing a good job. Keep up the good work. Whatever it is that you're doing well right now, keep doing that. Right? And don't let yourself get distracted. Okay? That's what that's talking about. Don't get distracted. And don't let other people distract you. You know what I mean? Right. Mm-hmm. Honey, go to work. Great lash with the green on. Work it for me, work it for me. But this is quality work. And this is quality work that could gain you some status with others. In the work environment. Right? Because it's talking about growth. Because it's a 3. And we're talking about status. Because it's Capricorn. And we're talking about work. Because it's Capricorn. And we're talking about money. Because it's Capricorn. And we're talking about pentacles. And we're talking about it being related to the Queen of Pentacles. Okay? Which is 1/3 Sagittarius. Doing a lot. Being agile. Being able to make changes quickly. Yeah? Working quickly as well. Yes? Focus, efficiency, proficiency. All of it. Do that. Work is good right now. Because I don't want you to get distracted worrying about some other stuff, right? Okay? Because here's the 3 of Pentacles, right? 3, related to the Empress. The other card that is associated with the 3 and related to the Empress here is the Queen of Swords. Don't get distracted. 3 of Wands as well. I told you there was some growth coming here, right? Doing what you do and doing what you do well, right? Because the Tower is talking about some change that's coming in. Also not getting distracted too, because it's a 7 related to that 7th house of like, ooh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Stop doing that. Don't be thinking about these relationships so much, because that'll work itself out. You know what I mean? But this could also be relationships that are damaging for you. But look at this card, so you'll know what this is, right? If this is happening. Okay? Let's look at the Venus position, talking about relationships. Yes. I told you we got another 3. Okay, so 3 cards here in a trine, right? 3 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, the World. And we have another card that is affiliated, correlated, and designated to another 3, and that's the Queen of Swords. Okay? So that's Libra, but we're also going to bring it back too. We're going to bring it back to this, the World card. Completion, right? But it's also success and growth. And like I said, keep it focused on the work. Keep it focused on what you do well, right? Being efficient, being proficient, right? Because this is about growing and it's about building something right now. You know? Yeah, because something is going to be rebuilt here, right? Because there's going to be a little bit of a change that happens. Whoa. You know? Because the Tower is talking about change. The 3 of Wands is talking about change as well. The Rebirth card is talking about change. It's also talking about change that comes in the form of, like, work. You know? Transformation for sure. There's some powerful changes happening and occurring here. And you were in this place in the past of being emotionally complacent, stuck, perhaps, even. And after the Four of Cups, Cancer, right? Aries energy, fourth house energy, death card energy here, transformation change, the Tower card as well. Cancer, fourth house energy, seventh house energy too, you know, in Mars. So we're talking about squares. Tension. The tension breaks with the Tower card being here, right? With something. And that could be at the home. That could be in any environment that you have access to, that you function on a high level in. So work, relationships, a connection with your mother, that type of thing. Anyway, this is the World card. It's talking about some change. It's saying that you can't turn back either. And it's also kind of like accepting something. Accepting that something has changed. But it's accepting that something has changed in a way of like as reward. Right? This is good. So this is something happening that's improving in relationships. Or it's improving somewhere. Or there's something that is definite. Something is being defined right now. This is the World card in the Venus position, the lesser benefic completion. So you're benefiting from this sense of graduation, gradient, gradually changing. You've done the time. Something has served its purpose of you. You have served a point of learning. You have served yourself throughout a point of learning, a phase of learning. Some lessons, right? They're wrapped up, these ingredients, which are the elements. A little bit of everything. You put them in there. You bake this cake. You taste it now. Now it's time to bake another one that you haven't baked before. You know? See what I'm saying? More self-actualization, more self-building, self-worth, improving, quality of life improving here as well with the Venus card being here. Or with the World card being here in your Venus position. Because I'm talking like this right now. See what I mean? The body, honey. And also work on that physical body. You know what I mean? You can find power in that body. You know, when you get bored and you have anything to do, work out. You'll be benefiting from that. You're investing in something. And this is talking about your investments as well. This could be investing in the environment, putting things in the environment, making improvements in the environment, you know, cultivating something, lasting, you know. So this is invested in something. You might be invested in a relationship for a long time, or maybe you have been invested in a relationship in a long time, or maybe you've been invested in a job in a long time, and maybe you're getting some rewards from being invested in those things. Everybody ain't the same, right? Some of y'all Pisces moon, sun, rising, it's in a different house. It's trining something, it's square something, it's sextile something, there's a quincunx somewhere, there's a conjunction, there's an opposition. See what I mean? But this is improving. These are lilies. I love these kind. They're like fireworks. You want a fireworks? Okay. Let's look at the energy moving forward. The energy moving forward, honey. Moving forward. Excuse me. This is realizing where you may have been limiting yourself before. This is taking what you've learned and what you've changed about yourself and letting it be a vehicle, you know? Letting it fuel you to move you towards, you know, your future, into the future, new chapters. Like I said, it's time to go somewhere else. It's time to move somewhere else for some of you. It's also time to succeed. Now you really feel like you're succeeding. Now I really feel like I'm getting somewhere. And it's in job too, and it's in life. So you're starting to just feel something change, turn over, you have more wisdom. You have more strength as well. We haven't gotten to the strength card yet, but it's on its way. Because this is building endurance as you now have the energy to move forward. So now that you have the energy to move forward, you're going to build that strength next. Right? And this is also like relationships. And that could just be work, because it's what brings you pleasure as well, the Chariot. So going after your hopes and your dreams, right? That's going to bring you pleasure in life. And not feeling emotionally stagnant. Not feeling like you're busy doing things just for other people. You know what I mean? In that sense, now you feel like you're doing something for yourself. Ew. That's a good one, y'all. Damn. I better do it. So you got the Tower as the immediate influence, and then you get as the outcome and the energy moving forward, you get the next 7, you get the Chariot. Was I a B-boy at some point? Okay, so let's look and see what is your future card. Wow. Ace of Wands. Work. New potential, like I said. So something is changing. Like something's changing and turning over. Either it's like a promotion, something that happens like that, or you just feel like you have been promoted in some kind of way because you've upped your level. You've upgraded yourself. It's a sense of being spiritually upgraded, or it's a sense of being like just more inspired, more motivated. So that you just feel upgraded in that sense because you're more motivated to like be more creative, right? So then you feel like you're going for things, trying new things as well. That's what the Ace of Wands is talking about, trying new things. Tennis, painting, playing an instrument, starting a new, I don't know, computer game or something, whatever it is, or starting to do things, something that you haven't done, something new, just to change the landscape of your life. Right? It's worth it. It's worth taking the risk. It's worth doing something that might even scare you. Right? Or just might make you feel like, oh my God, I'm getting this chance to do this, right? I really want to show that I can, that I'm going to go for it, right? I have the energy, right? I have the new drive, right? This is motivating me, like I said. Damn. What is this love call on me? Let's see what you got, Pisces. And then we're going to look at your animal oracle card. Damn. Alright. New foundations, right? So this is good with work, Because it's Virgo, like I said. And it's a new moon coming up in Virgo in your house of relationships. And I told you at the beginning of the reading. Okay, I told your ass. Now look, it's saying that you're gonna experience like a gift of receiving some spiritual knowledge that comes from your inner self, right? It's inner discovery, it's inner knowledge, it's inner learning, it's being your own best teacher. But you have to be willing to go there. You have to be willing to ask yourself uncomfortable questions. And you have to be able to give yourself answers that are the answers, even if they make you uncomfortable. Because you're wise, like I said, wisdom, right? You got a 7 here, right? There's the black and the white, that's the gray, that's wisdom, right? That's the chariot. That's Cancer. Cancer is also the moon. You know, the moon is 18. That's a 9. This is also a 9 here. Right? So you've learned some lessons. You've grown. This is also completion as well. So the world being here and the chariot, sevens are a form of completion as well. Rebirth card, 4 of Cups. All the 4s are a point of completion, a point of stability that happens that comes from a place of finish. Right? But yeah, the Hermit, it's like looking at the details of how you might be feeling, you know, how things are changing. And it's like, what is your outlook? Practically, though, and logically, what is your outlook? Practical goals, because it's a 9 related to the 9th house of Sagittarius. Okay. And the 9th sign, I also believe, is... Oh, wait, no, that's Pluto. Or what would be, right? If we were considering, like, from the sun through the moon, all the way through Pluto, it's like 9, right? So that's completion in a sense, when we would look at it in that way. Yeah, the 9 is also kind of like coiling, uncoiling, right? So where we may have been coiled, we have now uncoiled. Because we learned that being tight and coiled up doesn't allow for us to even access ourselves, right? And this is kind of like trying to ask your soul some questions, or maybe your soul is asking you some questions. You know what I mean? Whatever, you know, whatever, however that would happen. But there is a wand here in this photo, right? Related to the 9th house of Sagittarius. So it's taking a good look, taking stock of what's been going on, and having the epiphany that in this moment that I'm in right now, everything that I've gone through has gotten me to this moment where now things are changing for me. And it's in a real way, you know? Right. And it's humbling too, so you have to remain humble, right? Even if you feel like, oh, I finally made it. I finally got to this place where I wanted to go, or get to this place where I feel like I've been trying to reach, because it's a 9, Sagittarius goals. I've been trying to do this for a long ass time, the moon. I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of different experiences, a lot of different changes, right? And it's worn me down a little bit, whatever it is for you. But I feel like I've learned what I needed to learn. Because look, Ace of Wands, this is an opportunity to show yourself. Chariot, moving forward towards a victory, that's success, right? You do have the Death card here, but it's saying, you know, now you can let go of something that you feel like you were holding on to. You know what I mean? Whatever resentment, whatever feeling like a past victim, right? Great, that's over. You can let go of that now. Because there's some new growth coming. There's things happening. Some new growth. Why my part's gone? Let's pull you an Animal Oracle card here. Because, like, this reading was weird. And it wasn't weird. It wasn't weird at all. What am I saying? It was just very, like, intense at first. Because you got the Tower and then you got the Death card. So... but it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, alright. She moves in mysterious ways. This is the Goddess. Child, you don't be knowing what the universe is gonna do. It's gonna happen. You can go your own way. Let's see what you're getting. I'm going to choose the one in the center, because that's what I just have been told to do, hopefully. Ooh, yes. You got the bee. And this is really warm. Ready to work. Like I said. Ready to work. Because worker bees, hello. Well, you're about to produce some honey. And that is pleasure. That is sweetness. That is the sap of, hard work. The sweetness of hard work. Honey. Right? And look at how bright the sun is. Very bold. And you've got your eye focused on something. And you're ready to go. Right? It's almost like this home back here is like a huge hive. Right? And this is almost kind of like finally getting to where you were trying to get to. Some kind of way, shape, or form. It's very spiritual. It almost has the feeling of like the Hierophant. Oh no, I'm sorry, the Temperance card. But I feel like you've come a long way. And even though you've come a long way, I feel like now you really have work to do. But this is good. And that could be like, man, I've done a lot to get to where I am. It's almost kind of like, how am I going to get in? Is it going to be difficult to get in? But you definitely are ready to work, whatever that means. Ready to take advantage of some opportunities, right? All right, Pisces. Like the video, share, subscribe, comment on the video as well. Follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot. I'm also NYC Kendrick there. The frog. Good. I feel like this is one of intuition, just because there's water there. It's an amphibian, and it talks about getting a breath of fresh air, kind of, in one way, shape, or form. And it's almost kind of like I knew it all along, whatever this is. But it's something that's good, right? Because you got all these really great cards at the end. Good luck, Pisces, all of you out there. And happy new moon in your 7th house of Virgo, especially if you're Pisces rising. Okay, bye.